Hi there, and welcome to another episode of Ageless Woman Cooking. Dan and Robin here, and today it's all about the busy woman and trying to plan for some meals each week in a really time-efficient way. Today we're going to talk about chicken. In fact, the next 3 episodes we're going to talk about chicken and how you can maximize the time and prep of 3 meals during the week. So we've chosen some organic chicken. Let's talk a little bit about, Robin, the choices of chicken, both from a cost perspective and a health perspective, because our goal is always, as ageless women, to encourage you to find the healthiest and most economic way to nourish your body and nourish your family.
Well, today we chose organic free-range chicken breasts, the boneless breasts. Now, at the store, I chose to do the organic because $2 more per pound. It wasn't that much more. But when you are buying the boneless breasts in general, it's more expensive.
But it's a lot of meat.
A lot of meat.
I mean, this is actually technically probably 2 servings if you're eating, we don't have to eat a whole chicken breast.
Right.
So
absolutely,
it's all perspective, but your health is worth it. And, maybe you won't always buy organic, but it does make sense if you're going to have chicken 3 times in 1 week to have the healthiest type.
The other thing that you can do to be more economical is you can buy a whole free-range organic chicken. We got this at Trader Joe's, and I think that's one of the best places, if you have a Trader Joe's, to get that chicken because it seems like it's the least expensive. But when you do the whole chicken, you could do everything we're going to do over the next couple recipes that we're going to show you. If you just roasted a whole chicken and pulled the meat off, you could do that as well. So either way, and it's definitely more economical to do the whole chicken, and then you can use, of course, the bones to make bone broth if you want.
So we're going to pop out to the barbecue here in just a second. We're going to barbecue all the chicken for all 3 recipes and just, grill it up and have it ready. And then today we'll give you recipe number 1. Okay, you can prepare your chicken breast any way you want. Today, Robin and I are out in my backyard. We're just going to grill them up. If it were a weekend and you were barbecuing anyway, your grill's hot, throw an extra 3 chicken breasts per family member for these 3 recipes we're going to give you. Okay, before we give you the first chicken recipe for busy women, we want to give a shout out to Sugar Baby Aprons for sending us these darling,
super cute
aprons. Aren't they cute? It's a little polka dot black and white ruffle with a little bib on it, and we actually have several aprons to show you over the next couple shows, and we are going to actually have a little giveaway. One of you could potentially win a Sugar Baby apron, so stay tuned for that. Okay, so we pulled our 6 chicken breasts off the grill. We're going to set 4 of them aside for our next 2 meals, and we have enough for 3 meals for 2 people or more, depending on how much you eat.
Okay, so our first chicken recipe for the busy woman is an Asian stir fry, and we already have our cooked chicken, which Dana sliced up, and this is like 2 breasts, and we are just going to add to a stir fry. We're going to use coconut oil to cook in,
right? And
we are going to stir fry broccoli. We've got some mushrooms here. We have scallions chopped up, some carrots as well. Of course, we'll use garlic and then some different seasonings. We're going to use some ginger in here, as well as some white pepper. And we're using tamari, which is a wheat-free type of soy sauce.
So if you're trying to avoid gluten, just go tamari.
And then an option to serve it on, Dana's holding up some wild grain rice. And this is actually already pre-cooked. She bought it frozen, and you can heat it up and cook it that way. You can actually steam your own rice and put it in Ziploc baggies and keep it in the freezer so it's ready to go for you. Since I don't eat grains, I would either eat this without the rice, or I would make like a cauliflower rice.
And the remaining chicken breasts chopped up just like this in Ziploc bags in the fridge for 2 more meals later in the week. Now, I like to alternate, so you're not having chicken 3 days in a row. So we have chicken maybe on Monday, Wednesday, Friday with something alternating. And the busy woman, this took 5 minutes. So we're going to head over to the stovetop and just cook it up really fast.
Okay, so we browned our garlic in some coconut oil. Remember, when you're stir frying vegetables, you want the temperature hot, but be careful with the garlic because it will burn initially, so you want to keep your temperature a little bit lower. But now that we're going to add our vegetables, especially our carrots, we want it pretty hot. So I'm going to just add in our carrots here, and I'm going to go ahead and throw those scallions in with it as well. You can hear it starting to sizzle. I think I got some on the floor. You can turn that temperature up a little now that the carrots are in there. See? Sauteing that up. And we're going to add our broccoli, because I'm adding the ingredients that take a little longer to cook. So I'm going to add about a teaspoon of ground ginger. I'm just eyeballing it here because that's just the way I roll. So I'm going to add that. And it's a little bit clumped up here, so I'm just going to stir that in. And then next, I'm going to add about, a quarter teaspoon is what I'm going to start with, of white pepper. You don't want to add too much of this at once because it is pretty strong. It's ground really fine. So about a quarter teaspoon. I'm going to put some salt in. We don't need too much salt. I just want to layer because we're going to add the tamari, which is going to add a lot of flavor. And I do have the fresh chopped garlic in here, the refrigerator kind, but I usually like to add a little bit of powdered garlic as well. Okay, so I'm adding about another half a teaspoon of ginger. I tasted it and felt like I wanted it just a little bit more flavorful with that ginger. I'm going to add my mushrooms now because my other vegetables are starting to cook and the mushrooms cook really easily. And I'm also going to now add in my tamari. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. And I'm just going to pour a little of this tamari in. And I'm going to let those mushrooms cook, and I'm going to add the chicken now just so it picks up all the flavor, heats it up a little. If you want a little bit more of a juice or kind of a sauce, you could add a little chicken stock or just some water to give you a little bit more of like a sauce. So as you can see, we are cooking in a ceramic pan, and we're not using those non-stick Teflon pans anymore. I used to use those all the time, but they're just, when you cook, you are just leaching toxins into your food through that Teflon. The best that we're finding to use is a ceramic, and they're great because they clean up so easily too, and things don't tend to stick. So we always have some organic chicken broth on hand. I'm just going to add just a little bit so we have a teeny bit of a sauce to just make it a little juicier, so when we put it over rice or a little more, and that'll be good. So I've got some sesame seeds here. I'm just going to pour a little bit in my hand and then just kind of shake it through there. That adds just a little bit of that sesame flavor. And we're ready to go. We are ready to serve.
Well, Robin is glowing after sauteing, but it really only took about 5 minutes. And here's the beautiful results of all these sauteed veggies. Lots of nutrients, but all the color, what does it represent? If it's real color, the way God made it, it represents all sorts of great nutrients.
Antioxidants.
Right.
And we've got the cruciferous, I can never say that.
Cruciferous
vegetables that
broccoli.
are really good for you.
Super anti-cancer.
Oh, let's talk about the carrots, because we used colored, the multicolored carrots. Some of them are purple and yellow and orange, but we do not use those little baby carrots. We use full-length carrots. They taste so much better. You don't need to take the skins off of them because the skin has all the prebiotic, and they taste better. The little, those little baby carrots, they're not really baby carrots. They're big carrots that are sliced in machines and then stored in water, washed with chlorine.
Pushed through the growing cycle too fast. So let's go with the most natural possible. So Robin opted not to go with any rice. I just have about, I don't know, about a half a cup of that whole grain rice here. And so I like the little texture. Robin tends to go more grain-free more of the time.
The juice in there.
And we talk a lot about how you can test your body when it comes to these different grains. Most people just assume rice is fine for them. Not always. It's fine for me. And you know, Robin, today my husband travels to Asia all the time, so we have this very fancy container of chopsticks. So we're gonna show our viewers how good we are. But let's talk about this ingredient that's an option.
So if you wanted, you know how you go to some Chinese restaurants and you have either a teriyaki or some sort of a more glazed type of stir fry, you could add a teaspoon of honey and make this more sweet. We didn't do that today because I don't like it that way. Deanna does, so if she wants to add it afterwards, she can.
Just a few calories, a little teeny bit of sugar.
And you want a little extra of the sesame seeds?
I love sesame seeds.
They're already in there, but I think they look so good. So we're going to put it on top.
So those are kind of fun. Super nutrient dense, very fast. Again, you can customize to your family's taste preferences, but this is your first quick and easy chicken recipe for the busy woman. Probably takes you 10 to 15 minutes max to prep.
I've got it.
Very tender.
And you know, Deanna,
crunchy.
We actually have probably more than 2 servings out of that. We're not going to eat all of that.
You know what the good news is? You can save a serving for lunch sometime during the week, pop it in a little container, and because the chicken's cooked, it's going to stay good in your fridge all week long.
Oh, there he's.
Oh, this is just not. Oh, they're both there. I don't think I can hit them hard enough.
Try it. Just do it.
Killed my basil, but hopefully I killed a fly too.